Greetings, my friends. Welcome once more to my den of iniquity. Well, it's not a den, it's a conservatory. But conservatory of iniquity doesn't quite work. Nah. Anyway, this is Dr. Jimmy and Lenny the cat. You might be able to see her right there if you look carefully in the dark. She's sleeping on her castle. It was once Castle Bob many years ago, but it's been inherited by Lenny now. So, about her, everything is for the cat. Hail the cat. Yes. All right. I have a tale to tell you. A long time ago, well, last year, in the quaint little town called Carey, Ohio, there were five young people, actually. I think originally, but there was only four of them left by the time I got there. A young man named Chad, I believe, and what was the other boy's name? Something like Percy, I think. I may have the name slightly off. I think Mindy was the girls, and one of the girls, and I forget the other girl's name. But there were, one of them was an athlete wearing his letter jacket from Carey, Ohio High School, the Blue Devils. That is the actual team. That was quite amazing. They did that. And there was, and the boy was a bit of a nerd, or perhaps a little bit of a stoner with his spectacles and his Hawaiian shirt. And then there was, the one girl was a cheerleader, and the other one, well, in her white dress and her spectacles, I think she was a bit of a virgin. Oh, yes. The Scooby Kids or Cabin in the Woods, take your pick. Either way, these meddling kids were hanging around the old church where it is said that strange things have been known to happen, and in the churchyard where there are so many strange old graves, and oddly enough, you can't seem to read any names on them. Maybe we'll fill them in later. Apparently, down around the old church, they found some sort of inscriptions or some old writing somewhere. I don't know the full story. I never could get the whole story. Little bits and pieces from night to night. If you talk to them, eventually it turns out that they read something. I think something in Latin, probably. And then something really weird happened. Whatever they did there at that church, messing about, interfered with something or woke something up. And so where there had been a lovely harvest festival and where there had been farmers bringing out their pumpkin crops in that little quaint town, now the pumpkins were rotting horribly, and emerging were sort of semi-human creatures, some pumpkin-y beasts. And one of the girls that was with the group, apparently, I think she's the one who was the least virginal, ended up going into the pumpkin shell. Oh my goodness. So human pumpkin hybrid horrors were happening. Very strange creatures running about in this harvest of hell, and the little trick-or-treaters too in vintage costumes that I suppose they look really creepy and weird, like maybe that really is a devil boy, maybe that really is a witch, who knows. At any rate, with a lovely little creepy gothic scare zone with that whole what's the word, American Gothic, but that rural farm-like horrors. And, of course, in the weird little town of Carey, Ohio, where so many strange things seem to happen all the time. It's a tradition there, a twisted tradition, yes. That was the lovely scare zone in Central Park last year. I liked it a lot. It had a really clever backstory. The church was beautiful, a big centerpiece right there in the middle of the park, where they used to have the main stage in them sometimes, and that's where they also had the schoolhouse many years before. And there might be some connections somehow. at least some thematic ones, or so. But it was very lovely. I really dug that scare zone. They put a little bit more effort than just having pumpkin creatures. So I have to come up with a cocktail for that lovely little zone, the Twisted Tradition. And I've thought about it, and I came up with an idea. And I was amazed that I found this particular beverage, because I realized that I'd used up anything pumpkin flavored a long time ago. And usually you don't get that again until October. But recently, while thinking I'd have to find something pumpkin flavored for this cocktail, I went to, it was about a month ago or so, I went to the liquor store, and what do you know, they still had some. This is this pumpkin spice vodka. Pinnacle, they do love their flavors from Pinnacle, but this is a pumpkin spice vodka, which is made with French vodka. That's interesting. I had no idea that. But it's made in the United States, but the vodka came from France, and they flavored it here in the United States with some sort of pumpkin spice. Oh my, just like Starbucks. It does have a lovely smell. Actually, it smells like Horror Night. Something about this absolutely brings up. It doesn't smell. It almost smells like the fog. It sounds weird because the fog doesn't really smell like pumpkins, and yet something about that smell puts me right into the streets of Horror Nights. Now, it's a clear vodka. It's pumpkin flavored, but it's not yellow or orange or anything. It doesn't look like, those thick cream liqueurs. So here we go. There's just plain clear liquid, and I'm going to put that into this. Splash it all over myself so I reek of pumpkin juice. That's Harry Potter. Yes. No, this isn't. This is this is a pumpkin juice little Harry would blow his mind drinking. And here we've got, not so little anymore, here we've got something to add to that. You're being stalked and hunted in the forest. Well, that's kind of stretching it. I needed something to make the pumpkins rotten, really. And what would be better to rot them pumpkins than this? Ha-ha! Good old Jägermeister. I'll rot those pumpkins. I'm only going to put a little bit in here because it's this potent crap. There we go. That's probably enough. Just a little bit. And then add that to the mix. There we go. I really should bring napkins out here with me when I do this. I thought I had one in this somewhere. And I used, I'm sure I had, here it is. I knew I had a paper towel somewhere. That it is. And I'll wipe that up so I don't mess up the whole place. Oh, like bartenders always have a little towel with them. And I should remember to always make sure I have something for spillage in case something drips. We don't want to mess up my work area and my computer. Okay, so that's in there. That's all I need. Doesn't have to be terribly fancy. Just something that will evoke the scare zone. And of course, in case you weren't sure, because I don't know exactly when I'll post this one. Maybe tonight, or maybe tomorrow morning. It's about 8 o'clock at night. Still daylight though, because it's June. Yes, June 1st. And so the sun doesn't quite set yet, even though it's 8 o'clock at night. Otherwise it'd be dark and spooky scary, but dark enough for my eyes to glow in the dark like a demon from hell. Anyway, I've got the cup. Didn't even bother frosting it up this time because this cocktail is twisted. And I'm just going to pour it into And of course, what's the point of pouring it below the sight line? Well, didn't want to spill it. And that way I can take care of it, and then I'll just lift the glass. So here we are, this is what I made, and it's kind of a brownish colour, a little golden brown. It looks red on the camera, but it's more of a brown. It's sort of like a bourbon or something colour that you get. That's what you get when you blend a clear vodka with some Jägermeister, except of course this is a pumpkin vodka, so it should taste like rotten pumpkins. Oh my, it does taste like rotten pumpkins. No, I'm kidding. Yes, it does, but not in a bad way. Of course, I like Jägermeister. That works. Yes. You might want to put a little more pumpkin and a little less Jaeger if you have more of a sweet tooth. But if you like a more complex flavor, then like this one. But, you know, to your taste, the amount of Jaeger should be to your taste. Enough that it gives it that creepy edge. It's basically a twisted tradition martini, because it's main, you know, it's vodka with another liquor and mixed up and served straight up. You might garnish it with, an apple peel, but I don't have any apples. That would have been perfect. Garnish it with an apple peel, and as long things that curl around, that would be perfect. So, if you want to make it fancy, do that. I don't have any with me today, but that would work fine with this. Oh my. Yes. So that was the Twisted Tradition cocktail. That was a fun zone. I did spend, it wasn't one I spent long periods of time in, but I would go there from time to time to glean more of the story. And I loved, of course, when Central Park gets crowded and you see the kind of trick-or-treaters standing up against the fence, sort of like. But then when it's more open and you have the stilt walkers looming over you and the one that's all lit up from inside and they're running through the fog, and that's much better. But the scare zone you want to spend, well, I had wanted to spend more, it's past now. The scare zone you wanted to spend more time in, of course, was mainly the two best ones for fun were Revenge of Chucky and what was the other one? The Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Those were quite fun. I liked Vamp 85 too, but weirdly enough, the one that grew on me, at first it was like, yeah, but as the event went on, I liked it more, and I liked it better every time I went through, was The Harvest. It was just a neat little scare zone that could, and it just got better every single time, and it was due to the effort and the energy of the cast. I think I mentioned that when I did the Harvest scare zone a long time ago. That cocktail actually was more timely, not 6 months later, or whatever the hell this is. This is nice. Yes, and it does feel like Twisted Tradition. Oh, yes. But especially if you get the apple peel in that sort of spiral, because it looks like it, well, like those twisted taters, the same sort of shape, you know, from Horror Nights. Most nice. Yes, I am digging that one. Very good. So, I have now done a cocktail for all 5 set scare zones at Halloween Horror Nights 28. I'm nearly done with my cocktail videos for last year in June, which means I'm freaking late, but one more cocktail video needs be made, and that will be made tomorrow night, hopefully, when I just have a couple shots to come. Oh, I'm starting to glow. That's this golden light of the golden hour. All of a sudden, it gets all warm. Then all of a sudden, boom, I don't know when, But if I keep talking, at some moment, everything will go blue and dark again. And that happens at a certain time, just as the sun starts to set. Bang! I've seen it happen before. It's amazing. But right now, we're still in the golden light. I love this moment. It's just so beautiful. But it could snap and change in a heartbeat. All right, but I might wrap this up before that happens. But anyway, like I was saying, I'll be doing a shot for the 2 chainsaw zones, the roaming hordes, whatever you want to call them. Although they don't really roam so much, they tend to stay in the designated areas. And so I'll do a shot for each of those tomorrow, and then I'll be all done with 2018's cocktails, and I can start pondering the 4 haunted houses that have already been announced for this year, what I might make for those, and come up with those at some point, hopefully before the end of the summer and before Horror Nights 29 begins. And of course there's bound to be another announcement in the near future, maybe as soon as today or tonight or tomorrow, probably late, probably too late for today, but maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday. It's June now. We'll get a lot more announcements as we get closer and closer, now that it's getting into summer. And of course, I'll try to catch up with all the reaction videos, and I only have one left, and that's from the one announcement that has been the most recent announcement made on Tuesday the 21st. And then I'll be all caught up with that, and then all I have left to do is my old history videos, and I'll just bugger on through Halloween Horror Nights 25 as I continue the story of Psycho Scarapy Unleashed, which I think is where I left off in part 15. So hopefully that'll come soon, and then we can be back to normal, and maybe I could, well, what should be normal for me is not making a video in months. Hopefully we won't go back to normal, but back to abnormal when I make videos almost every day. That would be so much nicer if I can squeeze them in. So, my goodness, this is very lovely. I'm happy with this one. So, and eventually we'll figure out the cocktails for the scare zones for this year as well. And I hope that when I get to those scare zone cocktails, I'll actually make videos in 2019 and not in 2020. All right. So that was the cocktail, and now I'm going to go watch television or something. Watch more Good Omens at Amazon, because I like that show. It looks like it's a lot of fun. And until next time, be good. Oh yes, drink responsibly, and if you're not 21, don't drink at all, and don't operate motor cars or chainsaws whilst drunk, please. And stay safe, have fun, enjoy the rest of your life, however long or short it might be, and pleasant screams.